here with Kaleb's new project. And I want to thank you for enduring the purge of the BS with me. I always have to cover the bullshit because it's constant.
Nah, man,
And,
it's good to hang out with you, bro. It's been a minute, you know?
It has been a minute.
Crazy how time flies, man.
It does, doesn't it? But the real ones still stay connected. There's some people you meet along the way and you just kind of stay connected to people, check in with them every once in a while. And that's the one thing I do like about Facebook is you don't lose contact with people unless you really want to. Kaleb Brown is an old friend who's also a musician, plays acoustic music, digital music. I mean, this guy's talented, can sing a little bit too, and rap as well. So we got a lot to cover with that because there's a lot of angles that we can go in. But I guess the first question I have is, what are you some of your historical motivators?
As far as reggae music, Bob Marley would have to be the one. I'm sure everybody who gets into reggae music, he's kind of the entrance point, you know?
Well, how old were you when you started listening to Bob Marley? He's known for the herb.
Well, he's not known for a lot of things. The herb is one of them.
Yeah, for the herb.
You remember the Fugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did No Woman, No Cry. I started connecting the dots. A lot of the rap music I listened to, they would incorporate like reggae, like Busta Rhymes and Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
So once I started getting deeper into it and researching more, listening to more music, I just fell in love with it. I live at the beach, bro. So reggae is just like, it's the vibes.
If you listen to reggae music, every song has to have a real message. How did you realize that it was more to it than just music?
Yeah, I started listening to Bob Marley songs, you know, and then I started hearing Bible verses in some of his music, political songs like Slave Driver and like Get Up, Stand Up. I sensed that there was something more to it. So I picked up this Catch a Fire. It's about the history of Jamaica, the slave uprisings in Jamaica, the Rastafarian religion, Haile Selassie I, the Emperor of Ethiopia. I realized through doing a lot of research, there's this deep spirituality at the core of reggae music, which is centered in the Rastafarian religion.
I've seen that you've shared the stage with Steel Pulse, Tribal Seeds, Kaleb Buds, Protoje. How did you end up getting into the scene, considering where you're coming from on the Eastern Shore of Maryland is not known for producing reggae artists?
I know I live in a small beach town, but reggae has always been huge here. You know, in the 80s and 90s, it was more of the Jamaican traditional reggae. Now it's more of like the Cali kind of reggae hybrid kind of stuff.
Right.
Which I'm not too big into, but I remember in Ocean City, man, I remember Buju Banton played in Ocean City, Capleton, Steel Pulse, and a lot of these bands I opened for was in either Delaware or Maryland at you know, bigger venues that would have international acts.
Is that what they do when they come to town? They look for a local act to open up for them?
Sometimes the act will bring their own opening act with them.
Right.
A lot of the places that I play, the act would have to like personally approve me opening for them. So they'd have to like look at my videos or listen to my music and be like, okay, yeah, I think that can work. The first thing that happened was Protoje was coming to Ocean City to perform. I would just love to open for him. Let me shoot the venue an email, just see what they say. They didn't seem very into it at first. They were like, oh, well, it has to be approved by the main act. So they ended up approving it, and kind of the snowball effect, you know. They would have other reggae acts. And they would ask me, they started asking me to actually open up for these bands.
A lot of local artists have a really tough time, you know, getting on stages with anybody who's considered, you know, a mainstream artist. I'm just curious, like how somebody from the Eastern Shore of Maryland is able to network like that.
Well, man, you know, with the acoustic, so I do two different things, bro. I do acoustic shows, which are like more like bars, hotels, restaurants, where I sing a lot of covers. Bob Marley covers, Jimi Hendrix, you know, stuff like that, you know. And I built such a big name locally, regionally doing that. I mean, bro, I was doing like 250 gigs a year at one point, you know. At the beach,
jeez, that's a lot.
At the beach, there's so many bars and hotels and little venues to play, you know what I mean? So I actually built my notoriety doing those type of shows, but the whole time I was still making my own original music too, you know. So when I do these opening act shows, I have a whole band with me. We're performing all original music, and the sets usually last like half an hour to an hour. Whereas acoustic shows where I'm doing covers, it's like 3 to 4 hours.
And doing 250 gigs a year isn't easy.
Well, that was my peak. I want to say I was young. I was a little younger too, so I was doing a lot of gigs. And then COVID happened a few years later.
And how did the COVID pandemic affect you as far as being able to perform? Were you actually just stuck until they opened the doors back up?
People had asked me to do the digital shows like Facebook Live, stuff like that. But man, to be honest, I wasn't really into it. You know, like I would get paid pretty well for the acoustic show. Playing for a few tips on Facebook just seemed like kind of a waste of time to me. My career completely disappeared overnight. I feel like I was at the peak of my career right before COVID happened. And that's
wow.
I was 2 years into doing my own festival. I was 2020. It was going to be bigger than we'd ever done it. You know, the city was sponsoring it. But then COVID, man. You know, so it just kind of took the wind out of my sails, bro. You know.
Wow. The doors opened back up, and everybody was ready to get back in the world. Was it tough to really get back on stage?
Like things still aren't quite the same as they were before. And also, man, like before COVID, I felt like a young man. After COVID, I felt a little older. So, you know, my priorities kind of changed. Did I really want to do 200 plus gigs a year, or did I want something more stable? COVID was wild, man.
It's like people kind of forget about it. I remind folks all the time. I'll be like, man, COVID was crazy. When you really think about what happened and how many people's children got stuck at home getting a half-ass education and kind of messed up a whole generation, and we won't really see the full effects for about 10 to 15 years.
And for people like us, bro, like we were outside when we were kids. You know what I mean?
What do you mean we can't go outside? That was crazy to us.
For us, I feel like it was even like more extreme, you know, like this generation, they're kind of used to being inside on their phone. We grew up outside.
Outside. Bro. There wasn't no smartphones and all that kind of stuff going on in the house. Nah. We was outside. Yeah, if you wanted to see your friends, you went to their house. You couldn't see them on Instagram. For the kids who liked digital stuff, some of them did really well with the homeschool, but in a grand sense, most of them didn't, because then you left them to their own devices. Their parents didn't want to teach them anything, so they were just kind of stuck. So I also noticed in education, there's been a severe lack of music, creative music, acoustic music, real live instruments, you know, bands. Seems like over the years that hunger has disappeared. And I'm wondering if you feel like it may even ever return in a generation or two.
I mean, things have changed, bro. I mean, as far as bands, like a lot of people are kind of not wanting to do the band thing. They get a loop pedal, they get a drum machine, you know what I mean? And they just create their own accompaniment. And everything's different. We got AI, we got plugins that mix songs for us.
As an artist, how much of that technology do you personally use? Do you do a whole band live, or do you do, you know, backtrack for most of your stuff?
So when I do the bigger shows where we're opening for somebody, or like also like festival slots where it's like a half an hour to an hour, like I typically bring a band because I want to sound big like the other acts. When I play, I actually kind of have a funny method of doing my acoustic shows. I play drums with my feet, believe it or not. So I have a
you play drums with your feet.
Yeah, I have like a kick drum pedal, right? For my. And then I have like a tambourine that I kind of use as a snare / hi-hat, like that I stomp with my other foot. So bro, I'm multitasking like crazy when I do the acoustic stuff.
Can you give us a little bit more information about the discipline behind the Rastafari religion there? A lot of people don't know much about it.
Rastafari is a Bible-based religion. It started when Haile Selassie was crowned in Ethiopia in 1930 as the emperor. His original name is Tafari, and his title was Ras. So Rastafari, Rastafarians, that's where the name comes from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So before he became emperor, he was a Ras, which is more like a print. Name is Tafari, so that's where the term Rastafari comes from. But so the Rastas, you know, they read the Bible and they, you know, they saw mention of Ethiopia and they saw mention of a ruler coming from King David's lineage that was going to be crowned, and they interpreted the Bible to see that this ruler Haile Selassie was, you know, Christ returned in a sense. And, you know, they follow a lot of Old Testament kind of rules, like no shellfish, no pork. Most Rastas, they don't eat any meat, or they don't consume alcohol. Hold
on, you don't eat any meat either?
Nah, man.
Oh, wow. I like a good steak.
I eat fish. A lot of Rastas make a exclusion for fish. A lot of them are vegan or pescatarian. They grow their locks because in the Old Testament it says the Nazarites who separate themselves unto God don't cut their hair, don't trim their beard. Right. You know, so they follow a lot of Old Testament laws essentially when it comes to diet.
Have you ever had any issues culturally when you're doing reggae music? Have you ever had to prove that you belong into that culture?
As far as being like accused of a cultural appropriation, things like that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, let's address the elephant in the room. You know,
we know what's crazy, man, is in my journey, you know, I've encountered the most hatred and pushback from white people, bro.
Wow.
Like you see pictures of me and my band. My band is primarily black people and Jamaican people. You know what I mean? Personally, I've never encountered anything but support and love from black people and Jamaican people. The only pushback I've really experienced firsthand is from white people who think they know something, you know, or they want to feel like they're cultural gatekeepers for somebody else. But no, man, I've never really experienced that. And also, I think a lot of it is like how I carry myself too, bro. I know some white dreads, you know what I mean, and they're kind of cheesy to me, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, you know. But I just feel like it's a combination of how I carry myself, how I interact with people. I think people can sense something genuine with me, you know, and I've never really encountered that.
I hate to say I'm surprised, but I'm definitely surprised that.
White people, bro.
Only from the whiteys.
Only from white people, man. Yeah. Like,
so does that make you anchor yourself more into that culture, since the culture is accepting, and the opposite culture that's supposed to be the inviting culture for you is not being inviting? I guess it makes it easier to stay with the reggae because you don't have to deal with that. If everybody's showing you love on that side.
I mean, I wouldn't say all white people are accusing.
No, obvious. But only white people have, is what you were saying.
I'm going to say, like, as black-centered and as black revolution as reggae is, the majority of record buyers and ticket sales are mostly white people. As revolutionary as reggae music is, I mean, even when Bob Marley was alive, the main consumers of his music were white people, you know?
I always figured that, you know, it was a primarily, like, kind of a Jamaican culture, and just sort of centralized to one area.
He wasn't that big in Jamaica, believe it or not. He wasn't that popular. He barely performed in Jamaica once he became a big star.
I think Bob Marley's goal was to bring that music and that message to the masses, so he tried to create something that was digestible for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think he did a great job, because that music lives on, so...
A great job. I mean, it's some of the greatest music ever recorded, you know.
Did you ever hear of Bob Marley ever having any racial issues against anybody who wasn't black doing reggae music?
I've read stories. Bob Marley was so light-skinned, like he actually faced like racism from darker black people in Jamaica. They called him like German boy and white boy in Jamaica.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
My father was essentially white, you know, and so he faced a lot of, it's like the lighter you are, the higher you are in society almost, you know what I mean? But Bob was living in the ghetto, so he was like this only mixed race child living in the ghetto. A lot of these people didn't know what to think of him.
The good thing is, you know your history, so if anybody ever questions whether it's real, you can tell them the history of it.
Well, I love to read. Yeah.
And it's obvious because the stuff that you're talking about is not just regular common public information. This is, you had to go study. You had to go find out the roots of this music that touched your soul.
So I feel like if you claim Rastafari or Rastafarianism, like you've got to study. You got to do the work. Especially the white boy coming from Maryland, you know, like
that's got to be rough. That's why I had to ask about that because you know I love everybody who's lovable. So I don't really care where you're from, especially if you're good at music. I'm all right. I don't care. But I can only imagine in the world that we live in that there would be some haters and they would be quick to hate just on appearance. They haven't listened to the music. They don't know your history. They don't know who you've performed with. They know nothing.
Sure, happened before, you know. I might not have been aware of it, but it's just something that I've never really encountered. I'm friends with a lot of people in the DC reggae scene, and there's actually a huge, really vibrant reggae scene in Washington, DC. But I've never faced it there either. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised to hear it, but that means for me that there is hope. Music and laughter are the two unifiers, right? And if we can stop gatekeeping certain music, people just are going to be creative in the way that they are, right?
Well, some gatekeeping is necessary sometimes.
Some gatekeeping is necessary. But I mean, in terms of just quickly just discounting somebody's craft because of their skin color, and I think that's unfair. I think we got to at least, I got to listen to it.
Yeah.
And if it sucks, it sucks. I don't care what color you are. And if it's good, it's good. Now, if you're saying a bunch of stuff you're not doing, I'm the guy that calls you on it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're locked up for life? You're standing in front of me right now. You weren't locked down for 15 years.
The norm in hip hop now, man, is people talking about stuff they never did. Like,
well, see, that's the funny part. I was just talking with my wife, and she was asking me why people were fans of Rick Ross, knowing that Rick Ross's whole thing was a lie.
Yeah.
And I said it was simple. It was a really simple answer. Back in like 2010, shit was rocking. Every day I'm hustling is a theme. It is what it is.
Yeah,
so we can't take away from what was done, but we all know that 90% of these folks are lying because if they weren't, they'd all be in jail for murdering people and doing all this stuff they're talking about. It's supposed to be entertainment, and to somebody, it's entertaining to hear people say that they're going to kill everybody and sell drugs to their family and have sex with their baby mama, you know?
On the other hand, all those drill rappers are basically snitching on themselves.
Yeah, well, see, that's the funny part. They don't even be snitching on themselves. They snitch on other people that did the shit and told them the story. Now they're sitting in court and they're like, well, you said this in this rap song. Like, well, I didn't actually do that. Yeah. There's got to be some element of fantasy music. Sometimes we just take it too far. We've glorified something that people shouldn't even be doing.
Yeah.
In reggae music, do you ever find that there are any cultural shifts that you think might be negative for the culture? Or do you think reggae music is all good for people that love it? It's a unifying sound.
Well, one thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is, you remember 90s dance hall. It was very Jamaican, but also very palatable. Dance hall is basically like the modern digital hype up version of reggae music.
Right.
But now I feel like dancehall has lost its cultural identity and they're trying to sound like trap artists. They've lost a little bit of what made them unique and special, trying to sound like American artists. Super auto-tune, the stuttery hi-hats, 808s.
A lot of these folks are literally just paid to do something specific. They take the deal, as I call it.
Yeah.
And some of the music, you'll hear certain people say things in their music about certain drugs, have never done these things. Yeah. But I mean, somebody told them, this is what you should say. This is what we'll promote. We'll put our money behind it if you say this. But if you start talking all these positive messages and trying to unify the people, no, we can't have that. We need you to tell them that you're on Molly.
I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Like, we were talking about Future. And between like 2015, 2016, this man put out like 10 albums. Bro, there's no way you're on these drugs.
There's no way you're on these drugs and putting out 10 albums. Not possible.
Bro, there's no way. There's just no way.
You can't be that productive and high.
Bro, seen anybody on lean? You're not making 10 albums in 2 years when you're on lean.
And it turned out he never touched the stuff. There's a bunch of people acting like they're doing stuff that they're not doing because somebody else is saying this is what you need to talk about.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the pharmaceutical industry was sponsoring some of these rappers, man.
They might own a record company and we don't know it. They could have some shell company or something. Is that the fault of the rappers or is that the fault of the record labels that are pushing out the product?
I don't even know if I would call it a fault. I feel like it's an industry, man, and they're just trying to get paid. That's what's been working for them. So keep the formula going, you know? Don't break the cycle.
Only working because that's what they're promoting. Imagine this. If all of our music was clean, we would probably have favorite songs just like we do. We would have club songs just like we do, but the messages would just be different. But the record label said, hey, you put out this message, we'll promote it. So for the artists that are like more conscious, they don't get as much promotion. But the artists that run out there and say nigga 1,000 times and shoot people in the face 1,000 times, that's the ones who get the promotion and they get the marketing. They don't want the positive message. They don't want the unifying message of reggae. They don't want anything that brings people together. They need there to be sown division within hip hop and any urban cultural music. When I listen to Bob Marley, it doesn't make me want to hurt anybody. Like knuck a few bucks.
He might want to make you shoot the sheriff, but
right.
Yeah,
but you won't shoot the deputy though. You're not going to do that. Somebody else did that.
In self-defense. If you do listen to some modern dance hall, man, some of that stuff is straight evil. Like
but that's the modern dance hall. That's what I'm saying. They've been trying to corrupt this music for quite some time, but they can't get all the way in because they don't know the history of it.
Shock value has always been a factor in the music industry. There was rock bands like Marilyn Manson and White Zombie, and they would use satanic imagery. I feel like with hip hop, this is just a theory, by the way. In the 90s, it was smoking weed and drinking Henny, you know what I mean? Or drinking, and then
Alizé.
Yeah, and Hypnotic, all that stuff. But then it's like, how do we make it more shocking? Like, let's talk about lean, let's talk about pills, because people aren't being shocked hearing about weed and liquor anymore.
There was a time when, somebody started talking about smoking was taboo. It was taboo. And the drinks were cheap. NWA and them was talking about drinking 40s.
Oh my God, St.
Hyde's. Like they were not even talking about Hennessy or none of that stuff. They talking about the stuff over in the cooler. Now that's not good enough. Drinking 40s ain't good enough. You got to have a whole bottle of Belvedere to the face.
Well, it's not rebellious enough. Kids want stuff that they perceive as rebellious. White kids want to rebel against their parents, so they'll listen to music about doing drugs and do the drugs. But then you have the rebellion of something like reggae, where it's like a revolutionary rebellion.
Reggae is a revolutionary kind of music. Because of that, they try not to let people listen to it. Bob Marley he knew what was going on, so he softened the music a little bit. Actually, he didn't even soften it. He used more metaphor. And because of that, people didn't catch the message right away, so they just thought it was catchy.
He would put like rock lead guitar on his song, or do a song with a disco tempo, like "Could You Be Loved." DJ could like seamlessly blend it into their disco show.
Marley wasn't very old when he died.
He was only 36, man. He was a young man, bro. I
wish he would have been around for another 20 years or so and seen the way things went.
I feel like some of his sons are really carrying it on.
That is true.
Yeah,
shouts to the Marley family, because they definitely have been carrying the torch.
I really love Stephen Marley. I really love Damian Marley. I think it was 7 sons, 6 or 7.
He was putting in work.
Oh, he had 11, he had 11 or 12 kids, I believe. But bro, by Jamaican standards, that's not even a lot. Have you ever seen the notorious interview with Ninja Man, where he's like, I have 23 baby mothers?
Yes, I thought he was lying, but apparently that's true.
He's telling the truth, bro.
That's wild. I mean, I don't know why people would want to be baby mama number anything past 3. A lot of guys can't even handle 1 kid, as far as like child support payments and all that kind of stuff. At 23?
Well, I would probably say that the child support system in Jamaica isn't quite as organized as the American one is.
Gotcha.
You know?
So you could just have 23 kids.
Yeah,
it's cool.
In America, if you have more than 10 kids that you're paying child support on, they cancel all your child support.
And so, fellas, I hope y'all heard that. If that's what you're trying to do, you got to get started early. Once you get that first one, go 9 more times. You got 9 more to go. Because I'm going to play at least one, but hopefully 2 of your music projects. But they're on YouTube. You know, what's up with fair use?
When I music videos to YouTube, I get a copyright infringement notice
for your own videos. So before we hit this music, because I know that's when they're going to cut this feed, what's next for you as an artist?
No, I don't really have anything on the agenda, man. Really, making music has been my main priority. And at this point, post-COVID, like, man, I really don't have any kind of plan. I just do what I want. I move how I want. If I feel like recording a song, I'll do it. I do want a reggae project because my last project was a little bit of a detour from that whole vibe.
Is that the What's Left to Look Forward To project?
Yeah, before I had an album called Roots Movement. 100% pure reggae music. To me, it's my favorite album that I've ever done. It's kind of like in my eyes, my crowning achievement. It was a group effort. And What's Left to Look Forward To was my COVID album. So I was kind of in the house making my own beats. You know, I went back to programming, went back to sequencing. It kind of reflects that whole time, like the isolation, depression that everybody was kind of feeling. You know what I mean?
So I got 2 particular songs I wanted to play. I have the Don't Touch My Radio one, and I have the We Ain't the Same. Which one would you want to hear?
Let's do Don't Touch My Radio. That one was released in 2018.
All right, let's check it out then.
Music playing all night. Don't touch, don't you dare turn it down. Turn it up loud, no. Don't touch my radio. Don't you dare turn it down. Music playing all night.
Is this all live music, or you did this as sequence?
So started off sequence, and then I based everything with live.
All right, gotcha.
Music playing all night today. We turn it up loud, no apology. Don't talk to me about me and mind me. When I'm listening to music, feeling irate. Way up on cloud 9, where you find me? When the bass and the drum are in timing, and the singer on stage start rhyming, and the stage lights started shining, and the women in the place start whining. The rude boys started grinding. That's what I'm living for, the music. That's why I'm giving you music. Full of love and humble, and that's how I do. And I'm doing it for Roots Movement. Coming straight out of OC. Better act like you know me. Full of love and humble, and that's how I do. If you got love, better show me. Don't touch my radio. Don't you dare turn it down. Music playing all night today. Turn it up loud, no apology. Don't touch my radio. Don't you dare turn it down. Music playing all night today. Turn it up loud, no apology. Don't bother me, no test me, no stress me. Don't send no police to arrest me. Play me loud music, give me sensey. Better that you join me than vex me. Always have enough to go around. Every time I day it's going down. Don't make me put this big spliff out. Don't call the police and snitch us out. Just give thanks for the music. Let's all skank to the music.
That's a vibe right there. I like this.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Coming straight out of OC, MD, you feel me? Let's
Oh yeah, shout out to Maryland.
let your soul free. Don't touch my radio. Don't you dare turn it down, no, no. Music playing all night and day. We turn it up loud, no apology. Don't touch my radio. Don't you dare turn it down, no, no. Music playing all night and day. We turn it up loud, no apology.
Yeah. That's in Baltimore, right?
So you did the leads, you did the backups. You obviously were playing the guitar.
I sequenced a lot of the songs from that album. Like on my keyboard, I play bass lines, you know. And then I met this guy named Tough Lion, who kind of he was the guy in the video playing bass with the turban on.
Gotcha.
He heard like the raw tracks and was like, bro, if you really want this to hit, we got to replace all this stuff with live instruments, man. You know?
And he was right.
He was right. He was right. It made all the difference, man. It made all the difference. And reggae, traditionally supposed to have that human feel, you know?
Right.
And I rented out studios for the drums because I don't have 16 microphones, you know, to record a drum kit. All the guitars and stuff like that, I recorded myself in my house. And then I got it professionally mixed and mastered. So I really went all out on the Roots Movement project.
It was filmed in Baltimore? That was a scene from Baltimore?
The graffiti section, that was in a Graffiti Alley in Baltimore.
Oh, that's what's up. I think I just have to give you props for showing love to the state of Maryland. You even mentioned OC in the song. Like, he gave a shout out to OC Maryland in the song.
I was talking my shit on that song, bigging up my hometown.
What's the history to Don't Touch My Radio? Is that just you don't want the music to stop?
In Ocean City, we had these things called noise complaints where cops would come up, tell you to turn the music down. They got their little decibel readers, you know what I mean?
85 decibels, no more.
Yeah, so they would come into the party, you know, like either playing live with a band or just playing music loud, you know. Don't touch my radio. Don't tell me to turn it down. Music playing all night and day.